what we summarised in the video really was 4 key themes, 4 key areas where the EFQM assessment team asked us what they would see when they came onto site. So we've applied for the EFQM award again this year, and the assessment team, when we went to present in Brussels, they said, what are the 4 key approaches, what are the 4 key themes, if you like, that when we come to Congleton, we'll see alive and well right through the organisation. And the video there and on the slide behind me summarises what we think the 4 key themes are that really gel Congleton together. And if I walk through them and sort of explain in a little bit more detail some of the approaches that you saw in the video there. So the first one really is around the culture and the people, and you heard Dave at the end there from IT talking about this family culture. And this is Joe Kaiser, our Siemens AG CEO on the left-hand side, and you re-quoted a very famous statement, but culture eats strategy for breakfast. This is absolutely right. Unless you get your culture, you can have the best strategy in the world, but unless the culture is right, and unless people are aligned, and unless people believe it, it isn't going to work. You can have the greatest process in the world for your strategy, but unless your culture is right, and the leadership and that disseminates right through the organisation, really believe it, really live it, it isn't going to work. It isn't going to work. So what we do is we analyse our culture. And again, it was an approach which was prompted through our EFQM assessment. So you see the word cloud there behind me. This was formed, actually we did, I don't know how many, 40 or so interviews for that video. And the word cloud was formed from what people were saying. We asked them to describe the organisation. What makes the Congleton culture. You'll see some of the words there, and you heard them in the video. Family, together is a big word. It's why it's in our vision. And it's an understanding really from the employees that they have a part to play in this strategy as well as the leadership. So the employees understand that. They understand that they must deliver world-class quality, cost, delivery, and health and safety performance every single day, or else the leadership will never be able to do the rest of the networking and getting more and more entrepreneurial power within Congleton, which is what all the strategy is aimed at. And there's an acceptance by the employees that they've got to deliver their part as well. So that's when we talk about together and when we talk about this culture of family, that's what we mean. And there's a number of different drivers, and some of them drive the culture. We can't do anything about it. We're the largest employer in town. We're quite a small town in Congleton. We've got 500 employees. We've got generations of family working for us. Can be a great thing if there's a family feud. Can be an absolute disastrous thing. But it's just fact. It's because we are a large employer in a small market town. There are families working for us. The history really leaves a scar within Congleton. Back in 2009, that redundancy period, 20% of staff, 22% of staff actually being made redundant. You can imagine with the family ties, there was whole families that were made redundant. It really stays very firmly in the memories of the employees. I'm pleased to say 99% of the guys who were made redundant ended up coming back. After the recession, we bounced back actually at a higher level than we'd exited. So we managed to bring back 99% of those staff back into position within Congleton. So that history really plays at them, and we use that to really create this thing we call burning platform, this survival instinct. This we use it as it's not a fear factor. We use it as a motivational factor. We are one of 49 plants that Siemens has worldwide. We're not in Germany, so we're not in the motherland, and we're not in a low-cost country. We're in rural Cheshire, on the fringes of Europe. There is always the threat that when they do their factory reviews, and they do them, I'm pretty sure, every 12 months, they'll look at the 49 factories and say, do we need 49 factories? And the idea is to absolutely stay off the radar. You don't want any management attention. Attention's bad from headquarters, so the whole strategy is aimed around that. It's been improving all of our key quality metrics, quality, cost, delivery, safety, on a daily basis to be up there as one of their best plants. We also get a 5-day assessment, which we're ranked in amongst the 49 plants. And I'm pleased to say for the last 2 years, we've been #1. We've managed to get #1 status. So we've won Plant of the Year the last 2 years within our division of Siemens. So from being a mediocre plant, I must say, in some of the KPIs, we've really focused the attention, and that's been driven by the employees. That's this culture, that's this. They understand that in order for history not to repeat itself, They need to deliver that on a daily basis. And the management team, we're a transient bunch of leaders. We'll be there for a period of time. The staff are going to be there. There's one guy who's just celebrated his 40th year within Siemens Congleton. He's been there 40 years, traveling to the same place to work. I can't comprehend that. But yeah, he celebrated his 40th year of working in Congleton yesterday, so unbelievable. So as a management team, we can pull certain strings to really allow this culture to succeed. And one of the key things we do, I've talked about clear strategy. The bottom one there is all around open and honest communication. And we have a very, very structured communication network. And it starts right at the very top. I mentioned it 5 minutes or so ago, where we take everybody off site. Generally November time, we're just planning it now. And the whole focus of that event is to tell everybody what happened with last year's strategy. So all of the programs we were going to do last year, what happened, and what can they expect next year. So everybody is fully aware, they get all the opportunity, and we take all 500 employees off-site, and we house them in the local opera house. It's the only place big enough in the vicinity to house them all, and we tell them exactly what's going to happen. And we do that right the way down, so that's the sort of top of the pyramid, if you like. At the bottom of the pyramid, we have Gemba Cannery, again, taken from Toyota, although thanks to British Aerospace, we now have a 2-tier Gemba system, which I'll come on to in a second. That's a daily meeting where we're continuously focusing on quality, cost, delivery, safety. Every single day we do a management walk around. So we've got 9 Gemba stops, and we go around them all. So very, very structured in terms of the communication. The next one then, and this has been a real key focus over the last 2 years or so, is what we call managing with agility. And this is moving from quarterly, monthly reviews to, if possible, daily reviews. And when we say daily reviews, the Gemba's one of them. I now have a strategy review meeting every week. So we move from a quarterly strategy review to a weekly strategy review. How have we done that? We use Gemba Cannery, I've already mentioned. So this is the daily walk. It's done not only in the factory, we do it in every single one of the offices. So you've seen Jürgen, our finance director, there in the video. He does his daily stand-up meeting in the finance department. We have one in the purchasing department. So everywhere around the plant, they're doing exactly the same thing. Reviewing yesterday, and then it's an opportunity for the staff to bring straight up to management attention any roadblocks that they need unblocking now in order for them to hit their targets today. And that's the real power of Gemba Cannery. We also use Obeya. So Obeya is, again, a Japanese concept, Japanese for war room, where we have dedicated areas of the plant in the offices and in the factory, which we just display all of the strategy, all of the key metrics on the walls. And the idea is you have a stand-up meeting in the area. Everything you need is on the walls. We don't do slides anymore. So our monthly management meeting now is a series of Gemba stops. So we walk around the plant and we stop in each department, and the departmental manager will present from the wall. So there's no slides. When I first started in Congleton, my management team sent me the slide pack, 72 slides they prepared. I narrowed it down to about 20 and presented about 12, I think. The amount of time and effort that goes into producing slides, absolutely wasted. This is my only slide pack. I think the guys who were in Congleton the other week, they're very similar slides. I might have tweaked them slightly, but we don't do slides anymore. We put them on the wall, and then you write on them, you put post-it notes on them. It's a living wall that we use. And not only does it have the effect of reducing time and being lean, and we've had substantial productivity improvements from using the methodology, you actually get out and about. The management team is seen. So culturally, again, you've got the management team walking around the site on a regular basis. They're down 9:30 every morning at the Gemba Cannery. Now the management meeting is completely open in the offices, and it really does bring this togetherness of the leadership and the employees, a real powerful message. In order to make the Obeyers work, we use something called sprints and scrums, and we pinch this from the software industry, software development industry, and the idea of this is that you break down your projects into manageable sprints. So no longer than a week. If the task's going to take longer than a week, it's too big, and you need to break it down even further. And then we meet around these boards, and the idea is it's based on plan, do, check, act. It's not very complex. Each of those cards is an action, and every week you expect them to finish. So you have a pool of outstanding tasks, and you move them around. And it's as simple as that. But what it does is it really focuses the project team into doing the right thing. So if you have a project review after a month, or even worse, after a quarter, some of the employees or the project members could be off on a tangent doing something completely out of scope of what you intended them to do. After 2 months, it's far too late. You've wasted so much effort. After a week, you can really bring them back in line. So it really focuses the speed, but really focuses the attention as well of the projects that we have on site. Okay, the next one, attraction and development of new talent, is actually one of our strategic themes as well. So as well as being a sort of approach that I've brought out here. So in Siemens, we're very, very lucky. We're one of many Siemens UK businesses, so we're tapped into things like the catapult centres that were presented at the beginning. We're big friends of the MTC, which is just down the road. We're linked to a number of strategic universities. We're key sponsors of the TRS system in terms of that recruitment database. But these initiatives were all around what we call intervention points within young people of today to influence them to take STEM subjects and go into a career in engineering and manufacturing. So it's great that all these initiatives exist, and if you can get them into university, absolutely brilliant. The problem is the students aren't taking those career choices. So what we've decided to do, we focus all of our extracurricular activity, as I call it. We have this CSR, social responsibility program, and we were going around doing lots of charitable things and painting scout huts, etc. And we said, hold on a second, what's our core problem here in society? The core problem is we're not getting the students through choosing these as career choices. So the attention of the organisation has switched strategically to manning up these intervention programs. So I talked through the one in the bottom corner there, the roller coaster challenge. So this was invented by one of my staff in business excellence, actually, and it's open to the local high schools, the kids that are just about to take their career choices for their GCSEs. And what we do is we send our apprentices into the schools, preferably the school that they've just left, so the kids know them, and they will coach through in the STEM clubs, either after-school STEM clubs or lunchtime STEM clubs, teams of kids that will design, build a roller coaster. But we expect them to do all of the mathematics behind it. So they need to create a promotional video. So it's increased the number of kids taking STEM subjects tenfold within the Congleton area. So we have a number of schools that participate, and it culminates with a big awards evening in Congleton Town Hall, hosted by the mayor and the local politicians, and absolutely fantastic. I think we give them Alton Towers vouchers to link it to the roller coaster. But a really, really fantastic program to really inspire these kids to understand that engineering is not walking around with an oily rag and a spanner. It's actually engineering is inventing. It's all of the great things that you guys know engineering is. To the school children, they don't get that. And the problem is not just the kids, it's the parents and also the teachers. And these are the guys we also bring into Congleton. So we have teacher tours, we have parents tours, to get them to understand what modern manufacturing and modern engineering is, and to break this oily rag mentality that really does sit very, very true in some of, particularly in the teachers, I must say. So we really need to break that, and that's what these programs are aimed at. The one in the middle there, Junior Factory, you saw a little bit of coverage there on the BBC about it. Junior Factory is aimed at our apprentice and graduate schemes. And we went to Robert Bosch in Bamberg, again, and stole this idea and adapted it. So Robert Bosch had this idea of a junior factory where they would put their apprentices in there to learn about the Bosch production system. So we have a Siemens production system. So they spent an 8-week spell in this area of the factory. It was completely dedicated to them. They would learn things like lean cell design, 5S, all of the Bosch production system tools. And I stood with Finbar and I said, this is a fantastic idea, but why don't we extend it and take that further? So what we've done in Congleton, we've given them an area of the factory to run entirely. So they've got their own management team. So we've got another managing director, we've got a finance director, there's a manufacturing manager, a quality manager, all from the apprentices. And they run this thing as if it's their own factory. So they've taken a previously outsourced sub-assembly, they've ran the project to bring it in-house. So a 21-year-old graduate went out to Germany to tell the supplier we no longer wanted their supply. He's negotiated all of the pricing, acting as the purchasing manager. And they've brought that in-house. Fantastic project. And the guys really, really are learning not only the engineering skills through their apprenticeships and what they've learned from their graduate schemes, they're learning real life management. What it is to be a leader, what it is to do a budget challenge session in front of the managing director and have a 5.5% minimum productivity challenge each year. Come and present to the management team. They've got their daily Gemba board, they've got their health and safety tour, all of the things that you'd expect in daily management leadership skills. They're learning those as well as their engineering and technical skills. So again, fantastic, but yeah, we stole it from Bosch. The final one then is all around continuous improvement and innovation. So within Congleton, we've got a number. I think most organisations will have similar sorts of things. So we have this business improvement framework. It takes everything from an individual suggestion all the way up to Six Sigma levels and everything in between in terms of teams and projects. And it's completely integrated. Lean cell design that you saw on the video there. So this is a 4-week program where we take the staff off the shop floor. Management are banned. We're not allowed to contribute at all. We get presented to at the end, but the staff build their own cell. So they completely design it, as you've seen there in the photograph there and in the video. They design it out of cardboard, and then we use this adults Meccano called Crayform that they build it out of, and they completely build their own cell. So engineering involvement, logistics involvement, the manufacturing guys are involved, and the idea is they know better than anybody else how to build their product, how to build their cell. So we leave them to it, and it generates absolutely astonishing levels of productivity, I can assure you. The key enabler to this, something we did very, very early, was we changed our organisational structure to support it. So we went to a value stream structure. So we used to have traditional shift managers, mentors, and we moved to value stream structure. So we've got 3 value streams that act as mini businesses within Congleton, and they've got all of the resources they need to do their entire job. So they've got all the engineering resources, they've got finance associated with them, they've got planners, and they can operate as a mini business. And the idea is that the cell leader, who's the lowest level of supervisory in there, has got around about 8 to 10 employees working for them. Their job is not really to supervise. Their job is to drive continuous improvement every day. They're responsible for 5S, they're responsible for all of the improvement initiatives that are ongoing on site. That's their role. One thing, and I'll give you the opportunity for questions at the end, one thing I always get asked is, how many of the guys made the transition across from one side of that pyramid to the other? And honestly, not many of them at the lower levels. So we've got around 24, I think, cell leaders now. I'd say 3/4 of them are brand new. The other previous managers, they didn't feel as though they could do the job, if I'm honest. We created a new job role and we said, right, you're going to have to apply for this job. If you don't want to apply and you want to step down and go back down into production, that's absolutely fine, we'll accommodate you. And the vast majority of staff that didn't want to do it did that and are working still in production today. The production manager came forward, he said, this is not for me. This new value stream structure is not for me. Very, very talented engineer, a lot of experience. He's now a supply quality manager. So we redeployed quite a lot of the management when we made this transition. So those are the four themes. And I think this guy in Grundfos said it, and this is why the strategy's really, really succeeded in Congleton, is because the management team believe it, the management team live it every single day. You can't just say you're excellent, you need to believe you're excellent, you need to live you're excellent. So that's why I said right at the very beginning, the culture is so important in terms of delivering these strategic themes. And my final slide really is around what happens next. So we've been through this value stream implementation, we've lived this 2015 vision. What we see next in terms of Congleton, we're very, very excited about it, is this evolution of Industry 4.0. So we will launch our 2020 strategy. We have a strategy workshop Monday, Tuesday next week, and it's all around Industry 4.0. Why? Why is because it's got productivity improvements almost certainly, so it will be a stepped productivity improvement, but the real key reason we need to do this is because of the changes in the customer. The customer wants, certainly in our industry, they want customization on a mass scale, and they want a lot size of one, and they want it at the same delivery schedules as mass production, and we can't do that today. So I'll leave you with that thought, and that really is our new burning platform. So thank you very much.
The NMI gives us two primary benefits, I would say. The first one is the ability to raise our profile. By attending events, we can meet customers, we can see who's active in various areas, and we can learn from not only the NMI guys themselves, but also from the customers that we meet. And the secondary benefit, I would say, is that we learn about the industry as well, and it allows us to discuss with other people, and this allows us to refine our own strategy for our own business and how to grow it.
Been members of the NMI for over 10 years now, and it's been a fantastic experience for the business, but also at a personal level as well, because I've benefited so much at a personal level, the networks that have been established, and the contacts that I've made. It's fantastic to have so many people every day at the end of my fingertips, of contacts, of people I can ask questions of. But as a business, I think we've benefited from seeing best practice within manufacturing, but also health and safety, equipment spares, and the list is endless really of the benefits that the NMI has brought to Diodes. I'd just like to thank them.